I got a question. To the people on the left, um, I don't want this to come across as me being malicious or mean or anything like that. I'm genuine, legitimately curious. I want to know how your mind works. I'm a naturally curious person, and I genuinely believe that the difference between the left and the right is how you define freedom. Um, and I think that the left, in your own way, you want what is best for America. You want what is best for Americans, even though to the right it does not seem like that's what you want, and vice versa. That the right genuinely wants to put America first and to make America great. I'm not going to say again because there's no matter what time period you put it in, there's something that needs to be improved. Um, Something that shouldn't have happened, something that is shameful or whatever. But to get to the question, you want socialized healthcare, the government to pay, well, the taxpayer funded um, health care, child care, transportation, uh, college funding, um, things of that nature. Now, we pretty well understand, I think everybody's old enough and mature enough to figure out that the money doesn't come from nowhere, that the taxpayer has to foot that bill. But my question is, right now, SNAP benefits are shut off. Millions of people are going without food right now. Um, the government funded food program. Do you really see giving government control of paying for your health care, your child care, your transportation, and your government or your college funding? Do you really see giving them control of those freedoms? Because that's what they would become. Do you really see giving them those freedoms would be a good idea? Because we can't even keep the lights on to fund SNAP right now. And it's not a one side versus the other. The Democrats have, I think, voted 14 times at this point to keep the government shut down. I'm not. I can only assume that the information I'm given from news media is somewhat accurate as to what's going on. I don't like politicians. I don't like news. I don't. I try to stay out of it for the most part. But I am genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. How you think this is supposed to work? Because if you give the government the power to pay for your health care, you give them the power to shut it off. When you give them the power to pay for your food, you give them the power to shut it off. You become a slave in a way. And so I'm genuinely curious how how you justify that thought process. I Help me understand, because if we can bridge the gap, I think that we can bring the country back together again. I want to know what you think. I mean, I'm not, again, I'm not coming from a trying to get a gotcha or anything like that. I'm genuinely curious how your mind works on this, because I know my experiences. I know my beliefs. I know why I believe what I believe. Um, I want to know what your side is, because I'm genuinely concerned. I'm genuinely curious, and I don't know. I'm trying to bridge a gap in a society that just wants to divide. So maybe I'm pissing in the wind. Maybe I'm, talking to the ether. I don't know. My videos don't seem to get as much traction as I feel like they should, but I'm not going to pay for more views and all that kind of stuff. Just talk to me. Tell me what you think. It's too late for me to do anything about it, but the future generations can definitely benefit. I want to know.